Good morning. It's Tuesday, AA Day. So I have a twin of mine in the basement. I don't know if she's ready to come up yet or not, so I'll wait for her to give me thumbs up. Anyways, I'm Sandra. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, what a day. So rules, please do not judge people here. It's a no judgment area. Everyone's welcome here, whether they're an alcoholic, a supporter, a family member that wants to figure out how to help a family member or a friend. They could just be here to support my channel. So whatever that purpose is, please don't judge them. Don't harass them. They don't come here to end up having all of that noise. So please refrain from doing that. It's not too much to ask, I hope. I'm on Facebook on my phone and YouTube on my laptop. So like normal, let's get into the meeting. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Here she comes. Hey.
You're a little grainy on the.
Yeah, it's my camera's being funky. Tried to clean it before. Looks cleaner to me.
It looks clear on my phone, so.
Okay. Oh, you're running me on two different spots? Phone and Chrome? Cool.
Well, because I'm on StreamYard on my Chrome and YouTube on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, duh. I forgot. So it's been a long time since you've been on here.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here.
Thanks.
So we're reading both the steps and the traditions because we're in the traditions. And we're on tradition 9. I always put in the description what book we're reading, the story or step or tradition, and the page number. So if you are trying to follow along with the meeting and you're a few meetings back, don't worry, it's in the descriptions of what page they're on and all of that. So let's get going.
Just be prepared that my phone may go off because,
Yeah.
it's my husband's birthday.
Yeah, I haven't messaged him yet.
He's at work 12-hour shift today.
I'll be messaging him later. I didn't want to bug him this morning because I don't know when his breaks are, but I might wait until he gets off work and gets home. You never know.
That will be a late one.
Well, it's going to be late when I get home anyway. So. All right, let's do our steps. and then I'll do the traditions. And
How do you want to read them? Do you want to go back and forth, or
if you want, I don't care.
it's
Whichever.
up to you?
Well, I'll read the steps if you want to do the traditions or vice
Okay.
versa. Okay. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Hi, Amber. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
I'm Lily, and I'm an alcoholic. 12 traditions. 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2. For our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as He may express Himself. In our group conscience, our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3. The only requirement for AA membership is the desire to stop drinking. 4. Each group should be autonomous except in the matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose: to carry its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. And can Facebook hear me?
No. Nope. You're in my ear.
Oh.
But I can relay it.
Tradition 6. An AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
So we just read the traditions. If you have a book, you can read along. Um, I do also do YouTube, so if you want to, you can go over there and watch the replay. All right, we're on tradition 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. When Tradition 9 was first written, it said that Alcoholics Anonymous needs the least possible organization. In years since then, we have changed our minds about that. Today, we are able to say with assurance that Alcoholics Anonymous, AA as a whole, should never be organized at all. But yeah, we're not organized, if you can tell. In seeming contradictions, we proceed to create special service boards and committees which in themselves are organized. How then can we have an unorganized movement which can and does create a service organization for itself? Scanning this puzzler, people say, what do they mean, no organization? Well, let's see. Did anyone ever hear of a nation, a church, a political party, even a benevolent association that had no membership rules? Did anyone ever hear of a society which couldn't somehow discipline its members and enforce obedience to necessary rules and regulations? Doesn't nearly every society on earth give authority to some of its members to impose obedience upon the rest and to punish or expel offenders? Therefore, every nation, in fact, every form of society, has to be a government administered by human beings. Power to direct or govern is the essence of organizations everywhere. Yet Alcoholics Anonymous is an exception. It does not conform to this pattern. Neither its General Service Conference, its Foundation Board, nor the humblest group committee can issue a single directive to an AA member and make it stick, let alone mete out any punishment. We've tried it lots of times, but utter failure is always the result. Groups have tried to expel members, but the banished have come back to sit in the meeting place saying, "This is life for us. You can't keep us out." Committees have instructed many an AA to stop working on a chronic backslider. Only who are you to judge? This, I just totally slipped part of that. AA to stop working on a chronic backslider only to be told, how I do my 10th step work is my business. Who are you to judge? This doesn't mean an AA won't take advice or suggestions from more experienced members, but he surely won't take orders. Who is more unpopular than the old timer AA, full of wisdom, who moves to another area and tries to tell the group there how to run its business? He and all like him who view with alarm for the good of AA meet the most stubborn resistance or worse, still laughter. You might think AA's headquarters in New York would be an exception. Surely the people there would have to have some authority. But long ago, trustees and staff members alike found they could not no more than make suggestions, and very mild ones at that. They even had to coin a couple of sentences which still go into half the letters they write. Of course, are at perfect liberty to handle this matter any way you please, but the majority experience is in AA does not seem to suggest. Now that attitude is far removed from central government. It isn't it? We recognize that alcoholics can't be dictated to individually or collectively. At this juncture, we can hear a churchman exclaim, "This they are making disobedience a virtue." He is joined by a psychiatrist who says, "Defiant brats. They won't grow up and conform a social usage." The man in the street says, "I don't understand it. They must be nuts." But all these observers have overlooked something unique in Alcoholics Anonymous. Unless each AA member follows to the best of his ability or suggests 12 steps to recovery, he almost certainly signs his own death warrant. His drunkenness and dissolution are not penalties inflicted by people in authority. They result from his professional disobedience to spiritual principles. The same stern threat applies to the group itself. Unless there is approximate conformity to AA's 12 tradition, the group too can deteriorate and die. So we of AA do obey spiritual principles, first because we must, and ultimately because we love the kind of life such obedience brings. Great suffering and great love are AA's dis- disciplinarians. We need no others. It is clear now that we ought never to name boards to govern us, but it is equally clear that we shall always need to authorize workers to serve us. It is the difference between the spiritual of vested authority and the spirit of service, two concepts which are sometimes pulled apart. It is in this spirit of service that we elect the AA group's informal rotating committee, the intergroup association for the area, and the General Service Conference of Alcoholics Anonymous for AA as a whole. Even our foundation, once an independent board, is today directly accountable to our fellowship. Its trustees are the caretakers and expediters of our world services. Just as the aim of each AA member is personal sobriety, the aim of our service is to bring sobriety within reach of all who want it. If nobody does the group chores, if the area's telephone rings unanswered, if we do not reply to our mail, then AA as we know it would stop. Our communication lines with those who need our help would be broken. AA has to function, but at the same time, it must avoid those dangers of great wealth, prestige, and
Entrenched.
entrenched power which necessarily tempt other societies. Through or so Tradition 9 at first sight seems to deal with a purely practical matter. In its actual operation, it discloses a society without organization, animated only by the spirit of service, a true fellowship. I've been to a conference meeting. It's pretty cool to see all those people from different areas of the world come to join in one space and meet new recovering alcoholics. It doesn't matter if you were 24 hours recovered or 900 days or 50 years. You're all welcome there to these meetings because it is ran by alcoholics who share one primary purpose, and that is the desire to get sober and stay sober and have your sobriety. Because that's the ultimate goal of everything of AA. That is the whole of AA, sobriety. And sobriety can be, you've made it 24 hours. That's exciting for a lot of us. That's sometimes the hardest part is the first 24 hours because within that 24 hours, you, you, what am I trying to say? You're still in that mindset of, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to have to get that drink. Or I still have this beer in my refrigerator, which is very tempting, especially when it's only 24 hours. So, and that doesn't even, we don't even say that you can't show up to a meeting drunk. We've had it happen at our little tiny group. We've had it happen. And we welcome them and we talk to them and we show them that we are understanding, that we're not passing judgment because they fell off the wagon or they still haven't gotten off. But we do support them no matter what part of their sobriety in, because our traditions teach us that we have one purpose: the desire to stop drinking, the desire to keep our sobriety, and we have to do it as a whole. So not one person gets to say and make rules and and make people obey by those rules because we're alcoholics. We don't understand what that is until you've got a lot of time in your sobriety. Then you start to understand that's what it means to be a whole. That's, and we don't govern. We don't make uh, rules. All we do is work steps, read our book, talk to a sponsor, engage in a group setting, and you can do it. Uh,
Talk to people.
Talk to people, even a stranger. I mean, I've told I don't know how many strangers. By the way, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I do it right here on live video on Facebook and YouTube. So
If
in
I go to a restaurant and I sit down and there's wine glasses, or they offer me, wine. Like, say you go to Olive Garden and they, you know, offer you a sample of wine, and I kindly ask, can you please remove the wine glasses? I'm a recovering alcoholic, and no, thank you. I don't need. I don't want any wine.
Yeah.
You know.
I I I got my first job. Well, my first real job I was camp hosting. People go camping, they want to drink, and I was think like 8 months sober, but I had done that on my own. I hadn't gone to a meeting in like 7.5 months. So my first meeting was I was 8 months sober. I think, and I the first people besides my family and my friends that I told that I'm a recovering alcoholic was my employer. And I was waiting to be told, oh, we can't have you do this job then. Because I was really excited about being able to do it and be camping, meet people in a camp setting. Because usually when you're camping, people are very, very nice. And so I was excited for it. And I told my boss, and she said, if you need, if you come across any alcohol bottles, no matter what kind it is, if you don't feel comfortable picking it up, leave it and somebody else will pick it up. And that was coming from my boss. I kept going to AA. I have my sponsor, and then another employer, or not employer, but another employee. So my coworker, Judy, became my second sponsor because she, of course, like I said, I'm not shy about being a recovering alcoholic. I tell everybody. And so I told her, and she became my second sponsor. And so when you have that group setting or those people that you have met in your groups, they become your friends or like a family member, like Judy was to me. They can tell by the way you text a message, how long it takes you to respond. They actually do care about. I hope that person is okay. I hope that they're still sober. I hope that they respond. They actually show that they care about you and they want you to be involved and want to include you in those things where sometimes you don't feel like you have a spot. And so, anytime since my first job, because I did work at Amazon for a while, two different ones. So the first one I worked at, I did tell them. I told my boss, my evening shift boss, and then I didn't realize that there was somebody behind me, and he was waiting to talk to the boss, and so I was yapping with the boss, and I was like, by the way, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I've got, I think at the time it was 5 or 6 years, and I told the boss that, and there was a guy standing behind me, and maybe I didn't even say how long I was sober, but um, the guy behind me, I started to walk off, and he comes and taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, I'm a recovering alcoholic too. How long do you have sober? So I told him, and he goes, I've got whatever he said the amount of time was, and I said, believe me, it gets easier, and you should find a meeting. It does help to go to a meeting or talk to someone about it. And then two of my best friends from that employment started coming to my meetings here. Sometimes they're in the chat and sometimes they're not. And if they're not, I understand because people are rude. So I completely understand if they even just like it and subscribe, just being here. They don't have to say, oh, by the way, I'm here, but just knowing that I'm helping someone. So two of my friends from work started coming to my meeting, and my sponsor, my first sponsor, comes to this meeting on Facebook. Unless if she's super busy with the baby goats coming along. So I probably have a goat. I didn't tell anybody that. So now, but my goat has a home for now. I might end up with the goat at home if we move. It'll eat all those weeds right out of that yard. But yeah, so AA needs to be worked as a whole, and we cannot boss each other around because after all, we're all learning the steps every day, or working the steps and helping other people, and by being silent, like I was when I first started AA. Thank you, Judy, for telling me to get my voice back because I use it here, and I'm not shy about saying that I'm a recovering alcoholic because I'm not the only one.
Nope.
There's a lot of us. And
It's not just us two either.
no,
It may be just us two here right now, but there's people who actually watch later. And,
yeah,
I want you to know that what you do here means a great deal to me.
thank you.
And it means a great deal to a lot more people than just me.
Yeah.
And people can make fun of me. They can call me names. They can say whatever the hell they want to. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'm not ashamed to say so. I'm a recovering addict, and guess what? I'm not ashamed to say so. I had to live life when I was young. I've done that. It's out of my system. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. And you've got
If you
many years.
don't like me, if you don't like me because I'm not like you and do, crazy crap, well, every person is different.
Yep. Every person's story is different.
Exactly.
We
And
all
I'm not going
have.
to share my whole story here right now,
No.
but
Yeah. I'm just glad you came up today. You haven't come up for a while, so I
I
figured
know.
I'd slip you an invite.
Just had to
So,
send me that invite, didn't you? And
but
happy birthday to my husband.
yes, happy birthday to my brother-in-law. He's old.
He's not that old. He's getting
Yeah.
banana bread for dessert because he
Ooh.
doesn't like sweet stuff.
Did
So
you make it?
I made banana bread.
I know where I'm going after I'm done here.
I made one loaf. So
Ah, you're not supposed to only make one loaf. You gotta make more than one loaf of banana bread when you make banana bread. Same thing when I do zucchini bread, because everybody wants some. Or when I make cookies, I gotta make a bag for Chris to take to work. And all the guys at his work are waiting for zucchini bread. So, but anyways, also if you are not aware, there are apps that you can get. I believe from the computers these days, you can download them onto your computer as well. They're daily reflection apps, and I have one downloaded to my phone. I've had one for 9 years now, but it got daily reflection. It keeps track of your sobriety birthday. It has your daily reflections, which I'll read here in a few minutes. And then it uh, it has the book in there. You can listen to the audio of it, and it's just a great app to have. I don't read it every day, but I read it at least twice a week. So, but with that, I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer, and then I'm going to log off of Facebook and read the daily reflection, and I'll upload that onto my wall on Facebook. So, with that, thank you, Lily, for coming.
Hi,
I said thank you for coming.
you're welcome.
Let's say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. My phone is bright.
Would you like me to read the daily reflections?
If you want to,
Freedom from King Alcohol. What a day for me to come up.
right?
Let us not suppose, even for an instant, that we are not under constraint. Our former tyrant, King Alcohol, always stands ready again to clutch us to him. Therefore, freedom from alcohol is the great must that has to be achieved, else we go mad or die, as Bill sees it, page 134. When drinking, I lived in spiritual, emotional, and sometimes physical confinement. I had constructed my prison with bars of self will and self indulgence, from which I could not escape. Occasionally, dry spells that seemed to promise freedom would turn out to be little more than hopes of a reprieve. True escape required a willingness to follow whatever right actions were needed to turn the lock. With that willingness and action, both the lock and the bars themselves opened for me. Continued willingness and action keep me free in a kind of extended daily probation that need never end.
Amen to that.
And I have been sober for 8 years, 8 months, 21 days, or 3,187 days.
I've been sober 9 years, 4 months, and 25 days, or 3,433 days. Yay! Anyway, thank you for coming up and doing the meeting with me.
You're
And
welcome.
I appreciate it a lot. And I
I
hope you,
appreciate you doing the meetings
I hope,
twice a week because this is the only way I will get a meeting.
yeah, that's the same with my sponsor. She can't get out and go to a meeting, so um, I do them for her and I do them for my friends that work all week and can't get to a meeting. So um, I've got a
Yep,
purpose. I got my purpose right here. So, like one of my fellow YouTubers says, don't stop. You've got a good purpose here. So, makes
exactly.
me happy. I love you. I
Love you
love you
too.
all. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you for
You too.
coming to the meeting. And if you're new here, you're welcome here no matter what. And watch replays. It can help. So I love you guys. Be safe, be kind, and stay sober. Love you.